Hey, good afternoon traders. This is Jack and welcome to your free video. So this is where we ended up today, right here at the end for February monthly expiration. We've been here before. It was the third week in January where we were chopping back and forth. And it's interesting that we kind of held and stopped right down here at 434, which is the 786 retracement. And so now the question is what's going to happen next week? What's the last week of February? And it is a short week. Do we have some type of little bit of a run into the end of March, and then let's just say maybe that was a warm-up for what's going to happen in March. What I wanted to focus on, instead of just saying, hey, the equities are selling off and nothing got bid up, I think there's an interesting story on gold and copper. So that's what this video is kind of all about. It's a shorter video. I don't have too much except for waiting for a pullback, if you can get it for next week, back down to about 172. On GLD and then on FCX. Now I'm not saying that would happen. Obviously that would be a huge move. Not within a day or two, but by the end of next week, if gold has pulled back, and let's just say equities did go higher to end up the month of February, I like both FCX and GLD to the long side on a pullback. And here's FCX. This is kind of my go-to copper play, and it's interesting that we're holding a key voodoo line. It's a tree line, and we have some type of moving average strength. And metals, what do we know about metals? If we were trying to trade this back in anywhere from November, December, January, it was almost impossible, right? There was no directional conviction. One day you'd be opposite from the next, and we know this, so let's apply that template to how we can approach these things, so we can actually have some edge in our trades on metals looking forward. So that's kind of the whole idea, and the genesis behind being patient is really zooming out and looking at copper FCX on a weekly time frame, because that's where it gets interesting. And as I draw this out on the right hand side, you can see down here we're actually squeezing. Okay, this is a weekly time frame. You can see that there. But it's interesting because while this may be more of a long-term outlook, any type of pullback kind of gets you sitting pretty for the long run, and you'd be I think still you'd be considered being early if this pulled back to sub 40. And continued to squeeze for a lot longer. That'd be fine, but just kind of bringing this to your attention, and then looking at GLD, it's got even a more interesting chart if you look at the weekly, because it's now firing. Dark, you got your red dots right there all the way since last year, like third quarter of last year, and now it's a black micro dot. So you are trying to now decompress the compression that you have, but you have to be patient for it. And that's why I'm saying, kind of getting ready for this, and just not being surprised if there's some type of end of February equity rally and commodities get hit maybe one last time within this squeeze. But at the same time, gold looks pretty good. You just got to remember that that is a weekly time frame, and it may just take another month or two for this to really take off. So it's exciting, but at the same time it is kind of like hurry up and wait. But I think instead of focusing on how much the NASDAQ sold off and how weak tech is and how bad things have gotten, I think there's a lot more opportunity to see if we can get a good trade happening on commodities in general. But again, left hand side, daily time frame, NASDAQ below the daily 8, below the 200, and basically below any moving average I've ever used, with red 10x bars coming out of still a squeeze. And I wonder if we're going to break down here and not get the beautiful weekly time frame head and shoulders that we can all kind of look at and go, yeah, it's there, and it starts here, and boom, boom, there's the shoulder, here's the head, and then is the market nice enough to push us back into, you know, anywhere, at least anywhere close to 14,500 next week, and then ultimately that's your head and shoulders, and then that was warm up for what's to come in March. So, you know, it certainly has been tough at times. You got a lot of chop, wide ranges, and you know, for me, I'd look at this and go, you know, let's just see what happens. We got a long weekend. See what happens on Tuesday. If we just completely fall apart on Tuesday, that makes, you know, all this a little bit more obvious. And you know, there is no, you know, we're not going to get that head and shoulders. If it continues on Tuesday, it's, you know, it's maybe look out below scenario. And then of course, if you're in gold, that'd be great. So hopefully it doesn't happen too fast to where we're not prepared for it, but just wanted to bring that, you know, back onto the radar, so we don't miss out on this kind of stuff. So it's been challenging, but we can certainly trade around it. All right. Okay, well, have a great long weekend, and we'll see you in the next update. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like and comment down below to help us out. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you can get notified when we release our next video. And if you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, go to simplertrading.com to learn how to sign up. Good trading, and we'll see you in the next video.